I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hello to all of my motivators family. Good morning and welcome to your Saturday motivation. I wanted to come on for a little bit and to give some motivation, some encouragement because I think it's so important and it's so necessary to talk about some life lessons so that we don't open up ourselves to be taken advantage of because we're not doing that. When we learn a lesson, we pay it forward, we teach another person, and that's just what I want to talk about today. Because you never know when you could be in a situation of being vulnerable. So, first off, we have to start off by saying caution for the vulnerable. That's today's topic, and we're going to talk about that caution for the vulnerable. So, what are some of the things that we need to be cautious over? We need to be cautious because there's always individuals looking for an opportunity to seek, to hurt, to prey on, and to destroy you. Now, I'm saying this message right out of the gate because there's people that you think are on your side and they are against you. They could be your relatives. It could be your spouse, a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be a friend. It could be people on the job. It can be people on social media. There's always going to be people who are in the background watching and waiting for an opportunity when you're vulnerable and easy, very susceptible to being taken advantage of. And that's when they're going to come in and try to break you and destroy you. And I want to come in with this message because we have to have our eyes, our ears, our spirit, and our energy always on top tier. We have to be careful of what we listen to, who we trust, and all of those things. And that's why this message today is so important for my motivators family. Good morning, Miss Donna. How are you? Good morning. Happy Saturday to the motivators family. I wanted to say this to everybody. What are some of the times we are vulnerable? This is a very important life lesson. We are most vulnerable in these different seasons of our life. We are very vulnerable, especially in our childhood. From the time you're about 3 years old, you're the most vulnerable to the effects of adversity, such as poverty, abuse, financial instability. Also, after success, like when something great happens for you, like you go to school, you learn something, or you start a business and you're winning financially, or especially after some sort of victory. We're vulnerable after victory because they feel like your soul is tired and you want to quit, but actually this is when you're going to recharge and go into a second wind. Also, when you're presenting something, when you're presenting new thoughts and new ideas, people want to try to get in any crack you have within your personality, within your life. People will be sitting and waiting in the wings for you to have some sort of brokenness. They want a reason to break you and to break you down. Yes, amen. Exactly. Welcome in. And there's always the times where, yes, we are human, but at the same time, you have to put on your armor, and you have to protect yourself. You have to be ready, not get ready, because there's always somebody waiting in the wings to break your spirit, to break your energy, to come and mistreat you if you do not have on all your armor, all your gear, if you have not covered yourself the way that you should. And I say this with friendship, with love, with coaching, with all of it, with some of the things that I went through in my life that I was not prepared. See, I believe in 100% because I went through situations. I would never want others to go through some of the situations that I personally went through. Another situation where we're very vulnerable to attack is when we're dealing with stress and anxiety. And isn't that for all of us? All of us go through stress and anxiety. And I find when I am under an extreme amount of stress and anxiety, or I have not rested enough, I'm very vulnerable because we're not thinking mentally properly or physically. When we're not getting rest, we're very susceptible to personal attack, or we don't always make the best choices. So we have to be very mindful of all of those things. Also, when dealing with disasters, and many of us are going through different disasters based on where we live. I know here in Florida, we had hurricanes recently. I know that there are some disasters going on all over the world. In LA, it's wildfires. For some, it's some natural disasters like typhoons and earthquakes. Everybody is going through something. For some, it's the extreme weather conditions, whether it be too cold or too hot. But everybody deals with certain things. And also within those disasters, there are certain population groups that are very vulnerable because of their economic status, because of the culture, the gender. There's a lot of things that just because it's easy for many of us to be able to handle things and to do things, it's not possible for some. So I just want to give some encouragement and motivation and to let you all know, don't allow yourself to just be open and to just be trusting to everyone. This is a life lesson. It's something that I had to learn. And I know that everybody is not like me, but I just want to say this out of the gate. Not everybody who is in our face, such as your relative, your significant other, your whoever, your sometimes the closest people to you is the ones that are trying, waiting for the perfect opportunity to backstab you. So be very mindful and pay attention to people's energy, the way they're talking to us, all of those things, okay? Yes, yes, yes. There's so much evil in this world, and we have to be mindful. We have to be so careful. Okay. We have to make sure that we protect ourselves before we leave our homes. We have to prepare our minds, our hearts, our spirit, and our souls. Because if we just go out, just leave our homes and we have not covered our mind, our heart, and our spirit, we're not ready for the attack. This is when we're very easy prey. And I don't want for us to be easy prey. I want for us to be vigilant. I want for us to be strong, for us to understand, to recognize, all of the triggers, all of the negative, the dark things, so that we can be ready whatever comes our way, whatever comes our way. So let's get into these points, okay? So, what is some of the times where we're susceptible to some of these attacks? And loss? This is one of the first ones, loss. And don't you see that so much things happen when you experience a loss, whether it's a romantic loss or it's a grievance, losing someone you love and passing, or loss of a job, or loss of our health, good health. There's a lot of ways that we can be experiencing loss, and in these times we still have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves in the best way possible. And we have to also make sure during this time we're not telling everybody our business and everything that's going on, because let me tell you, the people that you think are on your side is usually the people who are the vultures. They're the vultures. They're waiting in the wings. Oh, okay. I was waiting for this opportunity. You can never understand the individuals that will be talking about how much they care about you, how much they love you, and those are the main ones waiting to pounce on you, to bounce and to attack. They're ready. They're just waiting for a crack in your personality, a weak moment, so that they can take advantage of you. You know, we have to stay aware, have your eyes open, your ears open, your energy, pay attention to people's energy, because we don't want to experience that sort of loss. Yes. And we can't be easily deceived. You know, we can't be easily deceived. It's so easy to be easily deceived, especially I always think about the youth. I think about the older population, like those who are old, up in age, and they're not able to cognitively um, process things like they could, or those who have special needs, those the widows, and just certain populations and demographics that is very open to attacks. So I speak this because I've seen it, you know, with what I do in the medical field, but also from what I've seen just in living day to day life, being an adult. You see things, and I want to share this because it's important for us to have these conversations. Don't just be trusting and open and believe everything for face value. What the things that you see on social media, the things that you see within your family, the things you see on the news. Don't take everything for face value. Everything that, you know, appears to be one way is not always that way. And this is one that is a big one, where people are very vulnerable, is in loneliness. I've seen so many people, they make such bad decisions because they're lonely. And some of the things that they would never have done, but they get catfished. They will just do so many weird and strange things just because they want to be in a relationship, or just because they want someone to care for them. They'll give their money away, they'll open up their heart, and these individuals are cutthroat. They don't care about you. We have to understand that, okay? You know, especially when it comes to romance. Do not just open up your heart and believe everything that people say. You have to pay attention to the energy. You need to spend time with those people, and don't give people your money. I'm just going to say that from the jump. Don't give somebody that you have just met money because they want it, or they're talking about they love you. People will love bomb you into believing that we're going to be together, you're going to spend a lifetime together. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, because we're not going to be vulnerable to the attacks because we are aware. Okay. Also, you know, that loneliness, you know, for so many things we can be very vulnerable to attacks, because you want some friendship, and in friendship everybody wants somebody to hang out with and to do things with, but not all people who claim to be a friend actually is a friend. Okay. There's a vetting period that has to happen, and not everybody is a friend just because they say they are your friend. So many times we will be a friend to others, but we do not get friendship back, or you will be a great person when it comes to being a romantic partner, but you're not getting back that same energy. So keep your eyes, your ears open, pay attention to the red flags, because red flags are there in all relationships, romantic, with your relatives, with even with your children. All relationships on social media, we have to pay attention that we're not vulnerable to being taken advantage of by giving our money away, by wasting our time, by wasting our talents and our gifts, for us to not allow ourselves to be in our purpose. This is what I want for all of you. I want for you to be in your purpose. I want for you to be manifesting the life that you deserve, because you deserve to have a wonderful life. But you have to believe that, and you have to not just fall for every little idea or every little thing that somebody says. You got to do your research, you got to pay attention. You have to do all of the work inside of yourself and not believe that everybody is like you. That takes some time, it takes some experience. You cannot expect for everybody to be you or give like you give out of purity and out of kindness. There are so many people out here who are evil, twisted, manipulative, dark. You got to pay attention to all of these things because it's so important, okay? It's so important for us to keep our keep your protection, your gear up, in your mind, your heart, your spirit, your finances. Be careful, because not all people who come into our life to help us. They come into our life sometimes to hurt us, to break us, to take, and then when they get everything that they need, they move on to their next person that they can manipulate, use, and leech off of. I hate to say it, but unfortunately, a lot of times the ones that hurt us so much is our own blood. Have you ever seen that? Your own blood relative, the the amount of things that they will do to hurt, to break you. You would never believe that, a sibling, a cousin, a auntie, a uncle, a grandparent, your own parent could do so many hurtful things to you, but it's happening every day. So I wanted to spread this awareness and to say, don't just believe because somebody is your quote unquote family, which I call them relatives, because family equals love. And not all relatives are family. That's something that we have to start paying some attention to. We want that because it's only natural when somebody is your blood relative. We want love, but not all come in the spirit of love because of their past and their traumas and what they're going through in their situation. They've made that choice. They've made a choice to be negative. They've made a choice to be manipulative. They've made a choice to be stagnant. See, and that's not what we want, Motivators family. We want more than just the negativity. We want more than just the drama. We want to have a phenomenal life. Or I can say, I want a phenomenal life. I want that for me and I want that for you. But we also, in that season of personal growth and development, we want to make better decisions. We want to make the best decision for us. And when it comes to our relatives, sometimes we are not making the best decisions because we're trying to please them. Yes, always, always. We have to make the best decision for us. And for me, it was so difficult for me to be in this space of personal growth. When you're trying to grow, there are certain individuals you have to leave them behind. That hurts so much because when you're in that season of change and you're trying to manifest and you want to go somewhere, you cannot take everybody that you know where you're trying to go. Certain things, certain visions, certain changes, certain parts of your personality, That's why it was given to you. Not everybody can go where you're going to go, because you're going to go great places. You're going to be a successful person, and not everybody wants to put in the work to be successful. Some people are happy being stagnant. Some people are happy just complaining about their life and not doing anything to change. They don't want to change because change equals actions, and they're not going to put in the action in order to win. So that's why we have to pay attention to who we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with. And I say this because of some situations that I have been through in my life. I have been through so many things in my life where allowed myself to be vulnerable just because I didn't know. And sometimes we can be personally attacked. We can be physically attacked, emotionally attacked. We can be spiritually attacked. We can be financially attacked. It's many ways that we can be attacked in this life because we're vulnerable, because we want certain things. But don't dummy down your talents and your gifts and your blessings just because you want other support or just because you want to have a certain status. There's certain individuals that while they may be a good person, it doesn't mean they're a good person for you. Not all people are meant to be in your close network, in your close circle. You have to really pay attention to people's energy, the way they're talking, how they treat you, how they treat other people, and don't let people take advantage of you. See, you can be vulnerable at certain times, but also you can be vulnerable, but also you have to protect yourself. You have to cover yourself. Okay. And many times we will be so vulnerable to personal attack because of lack of experience. And this can happen when we're young, but also this can happen when we're older. We can be whole grown people, adults. And just because we haven't experienced something new, it could be in loss, grief, new relationship. It could be something spiritual. And one of the biggest ways that we can really be in taking advantage of and be vulnerable is because we do not have financial literacy. And I know so many people that they go through so many things because it's not because you don't have a lot of money. You can have a small amount of money and be taken advantage of financially. It doesn't mean you have to have this big, huge amount of money. You don't have to be filthy rich. But if you're constantly allowing a relative, a friend, this person, or that person to take from you, you know, prey on you because of what they want. They want to take because they know if they say this, if they say how much they love you, or if they make promises that they know that they can't keep, but they know that that's what you want to hear, they're going to keep feeding you. People will constantly keep feeding you what they know you want to hear. So we have to be more vigilant. We have to be more aware. We have to pay attention to our energy, to their energy. How do they make you feel? Do they make you feel good, or do they make you feel this small? We have to be aware of all of those things and do not allow ourselves to be gullible. Okay. We deserve better. So we have to do better. And this is the last point, everybody. We have to pay attention to being vulnerable because of a season of newness. Now, I speak this over my life. I speak this over your life. We're in a new year. We're in 2025, and this is a season of newness. There's a season of, there's something new that's going to be coming into your life, and you have to be ready and prepared. Not get ready, be ready. Prepare your mind, prepare your heart, prepare your spirit, prepare your soul for whatever is coming next. See, preparation is the key to not be taken advantage of. Preparation is the key for change. Preparation is the catalyst for your elevation. But you have to be in that space where you're ready to embrace change. You're ready to take action. You're going to put in the work, and you're not just going to go about just accepting this is my life and this is just what happens. See, just because you may not have a lot, it doesn't mean you can't do a lot. See, that's the difference. And I'm so grateful that I've had wonderful mentors. I had a wonderful therapist that helped to pour that into me. So now I am paying it forward and pouring it into you until you want to make changes, until you want to heal, until you want to have the life that you deserve, until you personally say it to yourself. I am going to be successful because I will do everything that it takes to win. Everything. And when I say everything, it means working on your own attitude, taking ownership and accountability. It means stop walking with people who don't even know where they're walking. See, that's something we have to really pay attention to when we talk about being vulnerable to personal attack. It means who we choose to be in a romantic relationship with. It means who we choose to friend. It means who we choose to tell our personal business, because that will show up in the life that we have. It always shows up that way. Yes. Hey, sis, how are you? Good morning. It always will show up. It will always show up in who you become. You will not become anything great until you believe in your greatness. See, we have to accept that we are great. See, it's not going to be given to us by certain people because they don't possess it. You have to think about it. You have to meditate on it. You have to pray for a change. You can't just say, oh, this change is just going to come over you. Like virtually, it's just going to come in the spirit and come down on you. No, you have to speak it over your life. And that's why I always say there is so much power in your tongue. There's so much power in the words. And that's why I always speak over my motivators family and say, be careful of the words that you say, because words have power. And that power is going to either be a catalyst for your change and elevation or your decline. So if you're seeing that you're not elevating in your life, it's probably because of the people around you, because people carry energy. And if their energy is off, guess what? Your energy is going to be off. If you find that you're stuck in your life and you're not getting certain things that you want financially, there's certain things that you want spiritually, there's certain things that you want romantically, there's certain things that you want with your health, it's probably because of the people in your circle, because their energy is off, because they don't want to make changes in their life, they don't want to accept, they just want to complain, and they're happy with the stagnancy, they're happy with being stuck. They're happy about complaining. There's a lot of individuals that are in our life and they are very happy to just complain about it because they just want to be broken their whole life. But motivators family, I have to tell you something. You have to want more than just complaining. Yes, we hurt, things happen to us, and we have to say, I'm so sorry that this happened to me, but I can't stay in this mode my whole life. You have to choose to turn from being broken to saying we're whole. See, those words have so much power. Instead of talking about all of the things that hurt you and broke you, now you have to start talking about, now it's my season of personal development. This is my season of success. This is my season of growth. This is my season of learning and change and elevation and getting uncomfortable. See, that's the thing. Most of us don't want to be uncomfortable. And I have to tell you, motivators family, until you get uncomfortable, you cannot get comfortable. You have to get uncomfortable because you got to be honest with yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to be transparent and say, I don't like this about myself. I don't like my attitude. I don't like what I'm doing with my finances. I don't like the people around me. And then you have to get yourself in a position to align yourself with people who are making those changes. You have to align yourself with different sorts of people. See, that's what a lot of people don't want. They want to get this massive amount of growth, massive amount of change with the people who are not changing. That's impossible. It's impossible to have changes. It's impossible to get changes without changing the people, your thoughts, and your actions. See, you have to change your actions. You have to change your attitude. You have to change the people who are around you. How can you have those things without change? See, change is the catalyst. Good morning, Nadia. Hi, GC. How are you? Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. Hit the like, subscribe. It's so important to do those things. And I'm going to put the link in here if my sis at HTF wants to come up and give a message and a word. You're welcome to, sis. If you have the time, if you can't, it's okay. But I'm going to open it up for her. And I wanted to say to everybody, don't let your past define your present. Now, that is a word from my spirit. My spirit was telling me that. Don't let your past define your present. See, a lot of times when we go through so many things, we allow our past to keep us stuck. We allow other people and their interpretations and their judgments and their whatever they think we can be and whatever they think we can do. But guess what? We serve an on-time God. And when God is ready to change you, there's nothing you can do to stop it. When he has said and he has spoken over your life and said, this is your season, this is where you're going to be blessed, this is where change is going to happen, this is where you're going to profit, this is where you're going to grow, this is where you're going to experience personal growth, that's just what's going to happen. And there's nothing that anybody can do. There's nothing that anyone can do when it's our season to win, when it's your season to succeed. It's going to happen. And there's nothing that anybody can do to stop it. Good morning, Raining Bubbles. Good morning, Miss Heather. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop what God has started. When God says it's time for us to win, that's just what's going to happen. But we also have to make better choices. We also have to stop telling people our business. And I always talk about this all the time. I always talk about this all the time and tell everybody, don't allow. I always tell people that all the time. Don't allow others to get to you. Don't allow anybody to stop you, to stop your blessings. Don't allow anybody to stop you from winning. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything just because it may not have been done maybe in past generations, just because other people have made a choice to not grow and to not heal and to not learn and to not be happy. It doesn't mean that has to be yours. Okay? It does not mean that. Just because people say things, okay, and just because people do things, it does not mean that that is what it is for you. That was the message that my spirit really wanted to say, and I feel like it just came out. I wasn't even planning and preparing for this topic, but my spirit said to talk about it. Caution for the vulnerable. And it came to me very clearly because I know so many of us, we allow ourselves to be vulnerable because we want to win at something. And you get involved in the get rich quick, or you meet somebody, and because you want to be in love, you feel like because they're telling you all of the said things and they're smiling, or you fall for a person with the good looks and you, oh, then that's the person. But have you prayed about it? Have you paid attention to the energy? Have you done your research? You know, we have to be wise. See, that's why we get attacked in our spirit. We get attacked in our finances. We get attacked physically because we do not pay enough attention to our signs. We have to pay attention to all the signs. Yes, we have to live in the present. We have to live in the present. Living in the present is so important. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, and there's always going to be haters, right? There's always going to be haters that will come around. And what we don't understand a lot of times is the haters are not always people on the outside. Most of the time the haters are people in your very own circle. It's the very people that you trust the most. It's the people who are closest to you. Hmm. You would never believe it. And that's why it hurts so much. And that's why it's so hard to recover, because it's people you let your guard down with. It's people that you are comfortable with. Mm-mm. And you can't. You have to constantly, even if it's people that you love, you still have to keep your eyes, your ears, and your spirit open and pay attention. Like, wait a minute, their energy is off, or how come they're doing double talk, or did they just talk about somebody behind their back, or did they just, like, no, that's not true, that's a lie. All of those things we have to pay attention to, and not sugarcoat it and not make excuses. See, this is a big major part of the reason why we get hurt a lot of times, is we do not pay attention to those red flags. We don't pay attention to the energy. We don't pay attention to a person's actions, their behavior, their attitude, their lack of support. We have to pay attention to all of those things. Yeah, it's so true. And the energy does not lie. Energy is right there, right? The energy is right there. So just dismiss anything that is outside of you. And I want to say to whoever needs to hear this today, in your season of your personal growth and your healing and your change and your elevation, and you're trying to manifest, you got to get clear with yourself. So it means you got to have some time by yourself to reflect. And sometimes people will feel like you're being very selfish by taking the time to heal, by taking the time to pray, by taking the time to meditate, by taking the time to really pay attention to the people you have in your inner circle. Go through your phone and ask yourself some questions. When is the last time they were there for me? When's the last time they truly supported me and giving me love how I need love? Not how they want to give love, not how they want to give you crumbs, but giving love in your love language. That's a big thing. See, a lot of times people will want to give you love, but they want to give you love how they want to give you love, not how you need it. So, is your love language quality time? Is your love language is words of affirmation? Is your love language physical touch? Is your love language whatever? Is your language whatever it is? You know specifically what you like, but are the people in your life allowing themselves to give you that? Or do all they give you is excuses? See, that's a big thing. People love to give excuses. Oh, I'm so busy with this, or I'm so busy with that. Mm-mm. If somebody wants to do something for you, they will. And do you all hear me when I say that? If somebody wants to do something for you, they will. There will never be a time where they're too busy. That's just something that people say because they don't want to do something. They don't want to be there for you. They don't want to support you. They don't want you to win. And while that hurts, but we know it by their actions. We know it by the things they say. We know it by their attitude. We know it by their energy. So we have to pay attention to that and not live in the false narrative. So that's what I want to talk about right now. A lot of times we become vulnerable to things because of what we want, right? Oh yeah, they love me. Oh yeah. See, we'll tell ourselves this false narrative, this lie. We'll make up this thing. Oh, they'll change. Oh, they'll love me. Or that's just the way they are. They'll do better one day. One day they'll love me. One day they'll support me. One day they'll be kind to me. One day they'll listen. One day, and that one day never happens. And you're wasting your time and you're wasting your energy and you're wasting your effort and you're wasting your money and your health starts to decline. Either your weight goes up and your weight goes down because they're toxic. They are toxic. They're never going to be right. And I have to say this, I'm not trying to clown anybody or make fun of anybody, but a lot of times we become vulnerable to things because some people just aren't mentally stable. They have some mental disruptions, okay? Some it's they're just going through some mental issues right now, and some people have some mental illness, and it is what it is. Some people are narcissists, some people are bipolar, schizophrenic, and it's not because I'm saying this to make fun of anybody, but it's something we have to be aware. Not everybody is mentally stable to handle you. They're not mentally stable to handle themselves because they won't admit that they need to get some help, that they need some therapy. They may need some medication. They may need some prayer. They need to make some changes. And because of that, they want to break you down. Have you ever noticed the moment when you start to want to do some great things in your life? You lose weight, you start working on your finances, you're at peace, you're healing your inner child, you're just showing up and showing out. See, the more you start to believe in yourself, the more you have confidence, the more you have people rallying around you to support you, here will the haters come. That's when you're really going to see who is really there for you. When you're in that season of winning, when you're in that season of great things happening for you, you will start to see the people who are look at you sideways, or they'll say some comments. Oh, you think you're all that now? Oh, you think you're this, or you think you're better? I could have done that. You will find who is your real people when you win. And also, you find out who are your people when you're losing. Now, if that isn't a word, that isn't a word. You really and truly find out who your people are when you have $0. I mean, not even a nickel. I hope there's nobody in this chat or anybody on the replay that ever experiences that. But when you go through something and you are financially strapped and you have $0, that's when you find out who your people really are. And there's always people who always say, oh, if you need me, call me. And when you do need them, or when you do ask, you get told, go to these whatever agencies, or why don't you ask this person or that person, or I'm busy and I wish you would have told me. Oh, and I don't have it this time, or they'll be questioning, well, what did you do with your money? But in the season of your elevation and your growth, when you had it, where were they? Mm-mm. Nowhere. They were nowhere to be found. Okay. See, people only want you when you're doing well, when you're succeeding, when you're thriving. But when you get to the rock bottom, when you're vulnerable, when you're hurt, when you're lonely, when you're sad, when your mental health isn't in the best space, when you need support, when you need prayer, when you need hugs, when you need just that, those words of positivity spoken over your life, change is going to happen, everything is going to be okay. When you need that, you look around, nothing, crickets, deer in headlights. See, a lot of people, they have that crab in the barrel mentality. When you start winning, they want to drag you down. This is when they start dragging you. Okay. This is when you really find out who your people are. When you start winning in your life, they want to drag you down. They want to try to take your money away. They want to bring up everything you did in the past before your healing took place, before all the times where you really were putting in the work and you worked on yourself, and you educated yourself and you healed your inner child and you became accountable and you're putting in the work. They don't think about those things. See, what people want is, people only want, what can I get? And they have their hand out. What can I get? What can I get? Hmm? Those aren't your people. If people are only around when you're elevating and they're not there when you don't have two nickels to rub together, those are not your people. You really find who your tribe is in your decline, in your sad times, in your dark times. It's the ones that will come and just give you a hug, or text you, bring you some food. The ones that will pray with you, pray over you, inspire you, tell you everything is going to be okay. Okay. Those are your people. That's your circle of love. Those are your people. But don't allow yourself to be vulnerable with everybody. You can't be vulnerable with everybody. I want everybody to really hang on to these words right now. You cannot be vulnerable with everybody. You cannot be vulnerable just because people are your relatives, just because somebody is your quote unquote friend, just because somebody is your spouse or significant other. That does not mean that they care for you. That does not equate to that means they love you. We have to be cautious. We have to be aware. We have to pay attention to everything. How do we feel? How do they make me feel? Do they support me, or do they just talk about they support me? Or are they just there getting the remnants, getting the gleaning, getting everything because of your hard work? We have to pay attention to all those things as well. Not everybody who says they care for you actually does. The proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the action, the proof is in how they show up for you in your vulnerable times. See, if you are vulnerable in loss, you experience some major loss, romantic, maybe a breakup, maybe a divorce, maybe it's a friendship ending, maybe it's a job ending, maybe you're going through things in your health, maybe you're going through things spiritually, maybe you're going through just so much in multiple things. But if you don't have people who are there in your hardest time, when you're having a bad day, this is where you're supposed to test out to find out who really can I trust, who really is going to be there, who really loves me, who really supports me, who really has my best interests at heart. You'll really find out. You'll really find out who your people are if you pay attention. So it's your homework. I want you to do some homework, Motivators family. Pay attention. Go through your phone and find out, when's the last time they did X, Y, and Z for me? When's the last time they gave me a phone call or a text? Or is it just you? Is it just you or is it them? Hi, the Garden of Inspiration. Good morning. Welcome. Is it just you or is it them? We have to pay attention to all the red flags. We have to pay attention to all the signs. Are they really who they say they are? Or are they who we have said, or we have made that them to be? Is it something that they actually are? Or is this a false narrative? See, and we have to get out of that space and that stage to say, they're great. Are they really great? Or have we boosted them up to make us feel they are that way because somebody has told us that, or it's because that's what we want? See, we can make people into this thing like it's like a fairy tale, it's a dream, but it's not the reality. We need people in real time to be making phone calls for us, to be supporting us, to be praying for us, to be understanding and compassionate and kind, because that's what people who really love us do. Love isn't supposed to be hard. It's not hard. But people who don't want to love you, who don't want to see you win, who don't want you to elevate. And what it is sometimes is that people don't want to support you because they don't want you to be better than them. Now that's a message to the of the spirit. People will maybe want you to do good as long as you're doing about their level. You have to be on the same, yeah. But when you start to elevate better than them, maybe you start working on your finances. Maybe you're in romance. You start doing better. Maybe in whatever it is, you start to do better and you're elevating and you're happy and you have peace. This is when you find out who your real people will be. Don't lie to yourself. See, in 2025 and moving forward, we're not lying to ourselves. We're going to be honest with ourselves. We're going to be transparent and say, I got to block this person. I got to start walking in silence with this person. I have to stop enabling this person. And this is a thing that I want to say. Caution for the vulnerable. Set boundaries, Motivators family. Set boundaries with everybody, including yourself. This is so important for us to be taken advantage of and hurt. We have to set boundaries about the things that we want, the things that we don't like. And it's good because when people know what we expect, what we don't like, then they can't complain about it. See, but the thing about it is most of us don't know what we want. And I can be honest and transparent enough to say that there was a time period where I actually didn't know what I want. I was just going through life, but I didn't know what I could do, what I could be. I didn't believe in my potential and my power and my light. But I'll tell you, it's a real thing, motivator family. Focus on your energy and your light and your purpose and what you're supposed to do. And let me tell you, your people will find you. You don't have to go searching for them. Your people will find you when you get in your purpose. And the fake ones, those fake people, the fake support, the drama people, they'll drop off. Okay? Because when you get busy in your purpose, you're not going to have time for the negativity. You're not going to have time for the drama. You're going to be so busy being happy and in peace and loving your life and laughing and enjoying the people who actually do. So, Motivators family, pour your time, your energy, and your effort into people who truly care about you, especially in the times where you're walking on eggshells, especially during the time where your finances is low, especially in the times where your mental health is not in the best space. Be patient with yourself. See, a lot of times we're so compassionate with our our relatives, your children, a job, and social media. We're so open and patient with others. But are you patient with yourself? Are you kind to yourself? Are you loving on yourself? Or do you give yourself the permission to heal, the permission to let go, the permission to put your foot on the gas, the permission to go after your dreams, the permission to do some things that make you feel uncomfortable, the things that you don't know about? Do you give yourself the permission to gain the knowledge, to get new people in your life, to open up your heart again? See, Motivators family, until you allow yourself to be better, you can't get better. See, I want you to get better. I want you to do better. I want you to pay attention to how you feel, to your energy, and to be accountable. See, being accountable is the best way for us to get ourselves away from those who make us feel some type of way, to get us away from others' negativity, to get us away from the drama, to get us away from so many things. See, we have to stay away from the haters. We have to stay away from the people whose energy is off, okay? We honestly do. We have to stay away from anything that is not supportive, anything that is not the best for us. And I have to tell you, if you don't have people in your life that will call you out, and I'm grateful to have people like that in my circle that will say, Marlene, you deserve better than that. Or they'll call me out and say, why are you doing that? You deserve better than that. If you don't have people who will call you out and cause you to make changes and cause you to want to do better and not let you just continue to do the wrong, but will tell you, you're good at this, go for it. They will clap for you. They will be there to hug you and to love on you when you're very vulnerable, when you're very hurt, when you're very sad, discouraged. So that means we have to get strong. It means we have to be honest. It means we have to make changes. It means we have to let go of people who are stopping us from our growth. You know, we were talking about that, those crabs in the barrel, and they'll be dragging you down. You got to cut ties with those people because you cannot love yourself fully. You cannot get to where you deserve to be by holding on to them. They're leeches. There's some people, and they will suck you dry, bone dry. They will take everything that you have emotionally. They will take everything that you have financially. They will sap all of your energy, and they still will be wanting more. They'll still say that's not enough. Can you do more? Can you get no? See, in 2025, we're saying no, and we mean it. We're not just saying no. We're not just setting boundaries. We're saying no, and then we enforce it. See, that's how we stop ourselves from being vulnerable to attacks, to our spirit, to our mindset, to our focus, to our passions. You have to say no and mean it, not say no and wobbling on two opinions. No, we're not doing that. Yes, we are protecting our peace. There's nothing like it, Motivators family. Protect your peace. Know what you want to do and stand on that. Don't go back and forth. You don't have to convince other people. If people do not like who you are, if people don't like what you're doing, that's their business and not yours. What somebody thinks about you is none of your business. If they don't like it, that's their problem. There's the door. They can go. You don't have to convince people why you want to elevate, because it's your time, because it's your season to elevate, because you deserve it, because you're wonderful, because you have the potential, because you're talented. That's why. And anybody who does not understand it does not deserve to have you. Okay? So put on your seatbelt. This is 2025. We're healing, we're growing, we're being accountable, we're making changes, we're growing because we have to be our best. We have to be our best. We have to grow. We have to be honest. We have to be respectful. Hi, Miss Tamika. How are you? Good morning. We have to be respectful. We have to love ourselves. That's up to us. You know, I know for myself, being transparent, I spent so many years being sad. I spent so many years feeling that I had to wait for people to catch up to me. I spent so many years dumbing down my talents because other people didn't believe in my talents, or they didn't like it, or they didn't support it, and it stopped me from vibrating higher. It stopped me from being confident. It stopped me for going for what I wanted. Don't let anybody stop you from going for what you want. It's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too young. You're never too broken. See, any part of you that is broken can be healed. Anything that we have done, we can make changes. Any attitude can be shifted. Any pain that we experience, we can use that pain to turn us into our power. Do you know that? You can use your pain and use it as your growth mechanism. You can use what hurt you, what somebody said about you, and get you into your passion. That's what I'm doing every day. Do you know how many times people told me I can never do something? That will never work. Nobody wants to hear about motivation. Who wants to hear you talk about your story? And I said, guess what? I'm going to monetize that. I'm going to work on me while I'm helping to work on others. I want the best for you and I want the best for myself. But people who don't want to grow, people who don't want to heal, people who don't want to have the proper actions, people who want to do whatever they want to do, don't understand why you're on fire for your change. See, but I'm on fire for my change. I'm on fire for life. I'm on fire for peace. And I'm on fire for awareness. I want you all to be aware of who you are. I want you to be aware of what you possess. I want you to be aware that you're a gift, that you're blessed, that you are capable, that you can do anything that you want to do. If you really want it, go get it. No excuses. No excuses. Whatever you have been through, whatever you're going through, you can do it. But believe in yourself. Don't wait for others. Don't listen to what other people are saying. You have to close your ears off from the white noise of the external, and you have to pay attention to your internal. What is your internal telling you? That you need to heal, that you need to forgive, that you need to get busy, that you need to get into action, that you need to hold your head up, that it's time to move on, that it's time to release yourself and let go. See, if you can't say it, I'm going to say it for you. I give you the permission to win. I give you the permission to heal. I give you the permission to grow. I give you the permission to be your best without anybody else. This is your time. Let's do it. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates. Thank you so much for tuning in and tapping in. Make sure you hit the like, you subscribe, and those who are watching in the replay, leave me a comment in the comment section below. We're not going to be vulnerable. We're going to be our best. I appreciate every single one of you. And I am so sorry to anybody who has been personally attacked physically, financially, emotionally, romantically, physically, any aspect. If you have been attacked, now is the time. It's 2024. We're not holding on. We're not harboring resentment. We're not going to be angry with anybody because we have to be in our purpose. We have a life to live. You have something to strive for. Don't let anybody hold that power over you. Take your power back and live your life. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and you've tuned in to your dose of positivity. I will see you all on the next one.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh,
Don't give up and keep your head up. I'll see you on the next one. This is Marlene Motivates, your life coach. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself.